You really don't like it?
It has its good points.
I thought you liked the combat.
I do, I just wish there was more to the game, that's all.
There's more stuff coming.
Yeah, after release. And what's up with the two Hawkeyes? And Spider-Man being an exclusive? That's bullshit.
All I'm saying is it wasn't all bad.
And all I'm saying is I would appreciate it if corporate would stop turning every game into a live fucking service.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Oh, screw this. This is too Japanese for me.
This game makes a bad first impression. And it's because there's such a huge cast of characters and they're all sent at you rapid fire style. You feel less an observer to events and more like an out of control pinball after it's had too many whiskies at the bar last night. There's a brief tutorial battle. Then there's a story segment. Then another story bit. Then another brief battle. Then another story. Then another battle. Another story. Another battle. Story. Battle. Story. Battle. Story. Battle. Oh look, I've gone cross-eyed. Over the first 3.5 hours, you're subjected, and I do mean subjected, to an onslaught of characters, concepts, future gobblespeak, all broken into tiny, inscrutable portions, divided by tiny battles with so much hand-holding you'll be worried the game is thinking about amputating it.
If you're not the real Kiriko, then who are you?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Or maybe this really isn't about who I am. Maybe it's just about what you feel towards me.
I'm not sure I believe this. You built them?
Yeah, that was me.
For 3.5 hours. You can't do anything but hold on for dear life as your brain slowly shuts down under the onslaught of characters and events and... You just can't concentrate on any of it. It's too piecemeal for its own good. Afterwards, however, the game finally cuts you loose. You can select whichever character you want from the initial roster of 7, which eventually unlocks to include all 13 protagonists. Yeah, it's a lot. And not for the first time I've had this kind of trouble. See, the story is simultaneously the best bit and the worst bit. It's the best bit to play. It's the worst bit to review. Because Spoilers!
I won't let you get away this time.
My god, there are so many spoilers. Broadly speaking, the game is split into 3 areas. Accessed from the main menu. Remembrance is the story mode. Destruction is the combat mode. Analysis is, well, it's the place you review the craziness should you forget any of it. You will. But here's the basics. A group of time-travelling mecha kaiju from the future are trying to destroy the planet. 13 teenagers controlling large fighting robots called Sentinels are trying to stop them. Although why Iori summons her Sentinel by touching a glowing start button on her upper thigh is beyond me. It's Japanese. You're either ready for this kind of thing or you're not. And yes, I know why the start button is there, but spoilers! As I said, 13 teenagers, 13 protagonists, 13 characters in story mode, all with their own unique story threads. And on the odd occasion 2 protagonists meet, you usually don't see the same conversation twice. From both their perspectives, I mean. Saves the game having to show you the same thing twice, over and over. What really makes every character stand out, besides their own personality and story threads obviously, are the unique ways the story is played. It's very impressive stuff.
It's clear here, but the flames are stronger up ahead.
You're not going in, are you?
I have to. That house up ahead is where my sister's staying. This can't be happening. It's completely gone. It must have been a direct hit. Chihiro! Tamao-san!
For example, almost all of it revolves around either talking to people or picking stuff up. And every so now and again, you'll receive a key word. That key word can be used on other people or things to open up new options and advance the story.
Okay, it's not the one you were looking for, but... I found a little something else you've been wanting to see. You know, that hardcore foreign movie?
Don't make it sound so creepy. It's just a sci-fi flick.
I also taped the next episode of that drama series. The one where the alien runs away to Earth.
Is that the one where he teleports from the UFO to the bridge?
Oh, you've seen it already?
But then the game starts getting clever. Some sections have you play seemingly the same situation, but on different days, forcing you to look for things that have changed since last time. Some sections require you to interrupt a conversation during the right topic to open up the thing that allows you to advance. And one even locks you into the old classic time loop, forcing you to rerun the exact same situation over and over until you puzzle the way out. Which might be a bit annoying, depending on how long it takes you to actually break out.
I guess when you put it like that, maybe you've got a point. I should slow down and think a little. Still though... Hey, are you even listening?
What the hell just happened? Shit, the train. It just went off the rails and...
I didn't know you could sleep standing up.
No, this is the same platform as before. The hell is this?
The story is so complicated, you're going to need a sodding flowchart to make head or tails of it. Fortunately, the developers already thought of that.
My memories keep disappearing.
That's not a joke. This game has flowcharts. Surprisingly helpful as well. I should probably point out that you can't just play a character to the end of their story. There are, for lack of a better description, roadblocks. You're not allowed to progress in a character's story until you've met certain criteria. It's all to stop you from discovering certain key plot points before you're ready for them, so nothing gets spoiled prematurely. It's pretty clever. And annoying. You start getting invested in your chosen character's storyline, and then you run headfirst into a metaphorical brick wall. Then there's destruction mode. This is where the battles occur. Don't go expecting Zone of the Enders though. This is a Sentinel. This is what it actually looks like, but this is all you're getting.
Number 13.
We will not lose. Number 23.
No room for hesitation. Number 11,
There's
moving
still
out.
hope. Number 23.
What's the plan?
Moving.
Okay. Just watch. Got it. They're down. No room for
We
hesitation.
will not lose. Did I? Enemy destroyed.
What's the plan?
Gotta keep it together. Go away! Hit! All right! Enemy spotted. Incoming.
Don't let up. They ought to be used to fights by now. Number 10, moving out. Don't waste any chances. Number 11, enemy on moving out.
Number 23. I vote
How's
you.
the Sentinel?
We must win.
I'm in range.
We will not lose. Got it! Destroyed.
Don't let up. No room for hesitation. Fall. How was that? Can't mess this up.
First thing, you must assemble an attack team, maximum of 6 Sentinels. The remaining Sentinels are deployed around the terminal, which you must protect at all costs. The Sentinels are complicated with all their different stats, like attack, defense, different weapon setups. Forget all of that. All you really need to know is there are 4 different types. Generation 1 Sentinels, or G1s, are built exclusively for melee combat, punching stuff really, really hard. They're arguably the most powerful Sentinels you have, but have limited range and are vulnerable to large numbers. G2s strike a balance between melee and ranged attacks. They're a jack of all trades, but master of none. They lack outright power and are best used when backing up other Sentinels. G3s are built with ranged assaults and heavy bombing attacks in mind, capable of wiping entire groups single-handedly. They are vulnerable to close combat and being left on their own. G4s can fly and are not bound by the road network. With low stopping power, they're best for mopping up stragglers and sniping key enemy units. They're surprisingly good on their own though they do have the weakest armour, so be gentle. Sentinels do have slightly different weapon selections available, but mostly it's about assembling the right team build. Each battle gives you a heads up as to what kind of kaiju you'll be facing. Many ground kaiju, many aerial kaiju, drums which self-destruct in your Sentinel's faceplates, Apsos which shield other enemies from damage, RPFs. God damn the RPFs. They're basically flying factories that churn out even more enemies. A major pain in the ass.
Yes, destroyed. Let's go, Montano. Go away!
Hit
Let's
confirmed.
turn this around.
Bullseye.
I got it! Hit!
I guess life comes at you fast. Yes! Where are they? Now!
for the combat itself, it feels very reminiscent in a sense of Dragon Age Inquisition, allowing simultaneous control over several combatants with all their different skills and weapons. It only looks like a Tron movie has vomited on your video game. It certainly doesn't play like it though. Yes, I can talk a lot more about the combat than the story, because no spoilers. You can gain XP on your pilots to gain extra combat skills. You can upgrade the Sentinel weaponry, the Sentinels themselves. You can even upgrade the terminal for extra abilities. And yet, despite all these different mechanisms, it's nowhere even close to being as complicated as the story is. You'll be very glad there's an archive. The analysis pages show you details on characters and objects, but more importantly, it shows events. They can be viewed by character or viewed all at the same time in order. Meaning if you're having trouble keeping up with the time-bending quantum folding narrative, this is a good way of reminding you what happened and exactly when. And to be clear, the combat has 3 difficulty settings. I had it on normal and I got an S rank on nearly all of them. Until I hit wave 2.9, wave 19, and then I got an A. Seriously, I was beginning to think S was the only bloody rank this game had. The story is usually a case of trying everything until something works. It's kind of like an old LucasArts point-and-click puzzler in that sense. The battles are strategy-based, controlling several units, defending a central point from multiple attacks, and the analysis section is if you forget what the story just said 10 minutes ago, because you're too busy trying desperately to remember what the hell the game just told you 5 minutes ago. You are not going to beat this game quickly. By my reckoning, it's about a 40-hour game, and that's assuming that you pay attention to everything in the story. The battle system does feel a bit tacked on, like it was an afterthought. It's still fun though, because I quite like moving individual units around on a battlefield all at the same time, rather than controlling just one unit and hoping to hell that everyone else does what they're supposed to. I like having direct control over a team. So as much as it feels like an afterthought, I still enjoyed it, but without question, the story is where it's at. And it is totally and utterly sublime, and that is mainly why I'm just going to give the game a 10, because I feel like giving it any less than that will be doing a disservice to the story portion. You do have to have a mind for the kind of time travel adventures that usually show up in sci-fi films, except this one is a lot more complicated than maybe a lot of TV shows and films do. There's a lot here, mainly due to the fact that there's 13 characters, but those flowcharts, they'll really help you keep up, as will the archives. So yeah, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, surprising masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. Wasn't expecting it to be this good. I didn't know it was an Atlas game until I got into the shop and saw their logo on it, which is why I bought it. So, what did you think of my video? Leave a like or dislike down below. What did you think of 13 Sentinels? Do you like it as much as I do? Are you an Atlas fan? Is that why you bought it like I did? Leave a comment down below. And for those of you who are glutton for punishment, you can always subscribe, or if you want to inflict me on someone else, you can always share instead. See you next time. The problem is that there's such a huge huge cast of characters on hand, and they're sent at you rapid fire style. This game makes a bad first impression. Both that you control and other ones that you just converse with. Huge cast of characters on... Huge cast of characters. What is wrong with me? Why can I not remember this line? And they're all sent at you rapid fire style. Shit, what's that? What, is that a gun? No, that's a gun. Yes, that's a gun. That isn't. That's a gun, isn't. And they're all sent at you rapid fire style. The problem is... This is going to take a while. I did it right, but I hit the bed and it knocked the microphone. Damn. After it's had too many whiskies at the bar last night.